So, do you remember the 1975 disco hit The Hustle by Van McCoy and the Soul Symphony? I'm sure you do. It went something like this, da 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 da, and so on. Anyway, the song made number one on the US Billboard Hot 100 and Hot Soul Singles charts during the summer of 1975, and on the Canadian RPM charts. It peaked at number 3 in the UK, number 5 here in New Zealand, and number 9 in Australia. It only made 38 in the French singles chart, confirming, in case it ever needed to be, that the French really are different. The Hustle won a Grammy Award for the Best Pop Instrumental Performance early in 1976 and sold over 1 million copies. But wait, there's more. This catchy but annoying little number has been featured in films including Stuck on You, Vampires Suck, and The Lorax, TV programmes Shark Tales, That 70s Show, American Dad, and Futurama, amongst others. You'd have to say it was a whopping success despite only having 3 words, do the hustle. But according to WikiHow, the hustle is a fast-paced partner dance related to swing and commonly danced to disco and modern pop. It involves 4 basic moves: stepping, twirling, chicken dancing, a move called the Travolta, which for the life of me I can't remember what it is, and turning again. Then it was rinse and repeat until you drop. If you want to walk down memory lane and the chance to brush up on your hustle moves or try them out for the first time, there are quite a few options on YouTube. I don't know, I haven't mastered this studio recording well enough to be able to know if I'm going to be able to put them on here at the end. But anyway, the one I liked was How to Do the Hustle, Dance at the Children's Museum of Indianapolis. So if you look at YouTube and search on Hustle, Children's Museum of Indianapolis, I'm sure it'll come there. Cheesy as hell. You love it. Honestly, it's a hoot. He's even this sort of large man doing chicken moves in a purple suit. It's perfect. It's so 70s. But anyway, despite my cynicism, listening to it brought a bit of fun flashback to my mid-70s teenage disco queen. Anyway, despite a cursory search into the background of the dance, I couldn't find anything specific. It was presumably a nod to the need to hustle or to succeed or survive in the hustle and bustle of the 70s, and it's become much more of a sophisticated these days. So there is a point to this story. Nowadays everyone has a side hustle, including me. It's a kind of cheeky must-have accessory to one's working life. I mean, if you don't go to a dinner party, if you haven't got a side hustle, you're nobody. Side hustles are flexible work that you do over and above your primary job to bring in extra cash, get your creativity flowing, or add purpose to your life. I mean, it could be taking up a new hobby, learning a new skill, or using an existing one you want to monetize at some point. Could even be volunteering for a non-profit you rate. In any case, whatever it is, it's just something that you do over and above your work. And it's not really like leisure. It's not going, your side hustle isn't sitting watching Netflix of an evening, slurping, bit of the old shardy down. And it's not, it's not any of those things. I mean, for me, it's, I'm a writer and I write blogs, I'm doing these videos, and so I've created a colourful network. That's my side hustle. I'm hoping it'll become my full-time hustle, but at the moment it's a side hustle. But as professional speaker and coach Alyssa Carpenter says, we all know millennials love a good side hustle to fuel their passions and wallets. But it's not just millennials. It actually seems we're all at it. I mean, really, it's the art of, what? No side hustle. I exaggerate, but the concept of a side hustle has become endemic. And I feel that we need an updated version of the hustle, as in do the side hustle. If I were a better musician, I would write one, but my side hustle's getting in the way of my actual leisure time activity, which is music. So I don't have the time to do it. Confused you won't be after next week's edition. But anyway, what a pity Van McCoy died in 1979, shortly after the hit's success, so he can't do a side hustle of his own by remastering the original and raking it in. Clearly, it's a great opportunity for some keen hustler with some musical creds. Of course, hustling or side hustling isn't new. People have been forced or opted to take up additional burdens to make ends meet since Adam and Eve were ejected from Eden without notice and with only an apple to chow down. I'm sure they hadn't had time to build up a rainy day nest egg. People bandy the words around like membership of an exclusive club, but for people living on the margins, it's actually always been an unwelcome part of their reality, the only way they can feed their families and survive. I mean, for people like me, it's a lovely thing to try and do, to say, I have a dream, I have an ambition, I'm going to put, time out to try and make that a reality. But there's always been this darker side. And, it's when black marketers during war and rationing, fortunes were made by offering consumer goods that couldn't be bought in conventional shops, and they were sold at exorbitant prices. And the side hustle for many all too often comes wrapped in the trappings of despair, manipulation, or holding people to ransom. I mean, a lot of the problems we face in this world are because families really cannot feed their children without holding down, maybe 2 or more jobs. And while this side of hustle is still shamingly very much part of the human condition, the trendy contemporary version seems pretty harmless. Side hustles, after all, make us better, more rounded, more connected, or simply slightly wealthier. And where's the harm? Who suffers if you decide to set up an Etsy shop or an outlet for your creativity? Or if I make all my waking hours outside work trying to become a best-selling author? I mean, I'm not standing on anyone's toes. If I succeed, great. If I don't succeed, it's not hurting anyone. I'm not stealing time from anyone else because I actually live alone. So my time is my own to decide what I want to do with it. And surely it's good to pursue the paths that make our hearts sing beyond the 9-to-5 grind. Why not use our ingenuity to make money on the hoof? So, as I said, I'm a side hustler with the best of them, but there are issues. I'm running on fumes sometimes trying to keep all the plates spinning. Side hustles can be hungry bees, sucking up all your best energy. And I have to be very careful that I don't suck my best energy away from my day job, which actually still keeps, a roof over my head and, keeps me in beer and Skittles, as they used to say. And I'm about to launch a new product based on my side hustle, and as the launch date looms, I'm not entirely clear which is the side course or which is the main dish, and I'm scrabbling quite hard, but to keep my business dynamic whilst I'm doing everything it takes to get this launch under, to give it its best shot. I'm really blessed. I've always been blessed with high energy levels, but they're not infinite. And I'm conscious of the risk of burnout if I keep the candle lit at both ends. So, basically, it's my call how I use my out-of-office time. But equally, I've been on this creative frenzy and, I have to be aware of the fact that I can't do that indefinitely. So, for other people, it's the concept of stealing time from their family to pursue their own ends. So it's all a balance. Side hustles are, they are a carefully balanced thing. So, I'm all for putting time into hobbies and gaining new skills. You meet new people, expand your horizons, and potentially earn a bit of welcome extra dosh. I've met a wide range of like-minded people through mine, something I didn't even consider when I started my indie publishing business and started this new tag. But the statistics show that side hustles as a necessity are on the rise. According to CNBC's Julie Molinsky, 44% of people with a side hustle think they'll always need it, and more are picking up one. According to an April 2023 Bankrate survey, of the 2,505 US adults, more than 39% have a side hustle, and it's to help cover living expenses rather than to provide discretionary spending or to actually do something that is, intellectually challenging or follows our dreams. Half of the millennials surveyed, over 50% of the Gen Xers have one. And, I would imagine that's a mix between something they want to do, but also for many of them, as we know, they can't afford to buy houses and stuff like that. So side hustle may be their only way to the kind of lifestyle they aspire to. And the tragedy behind those stats is that too many people are going backwards financially. They're often underpaid and coping with eye-watering cost of living hikes. Inflation at least seems to be at the moment under control, but that only means commodities stay at the same high rates. They don't revert to their more affordable pre-inflationary levels, which is why we all still feel so shitty about it. Because, basically, if I buy a Moro bar, it's still at the price it went to when inflation hiked. It doesn't go back to the sort of, dollar per bar it used to be. So I'm still wondering how I can afford it because I'm not necessarily getting any paid anymore to pay for that. But the cost of living hike is hardwired, even though the curve is flattened again for now. But I'm sure you get my point. Side hustles can be fun and richly rewarding on many counts for those of us lucky enough to follow our dreams because we can. But they shouldn't be a survival mechanism for people who have no choice. On that note, I encourage you into your side hustles. I hope they're there because you really want to do it, and they are so super rewarding. I think the main things that I would say about I've done a lot towards mine, making them work is I'm a failing to plan is planning to fail girl. I'm a systematic person. I get up early in the morning and I set aside time before the cares of the day get away from me so that I can pursue my side hustle, or at the end of the day if I've still got the energy then. But I find that getting up super early, I have a big regime. I get up, I do an exercise routine. I'm asthmatic, I do some breathing exercises, and then I spend at least an hour and a half actually writing something or doing a blog or doing something like this. So I can't emphasize more strongly that just doing a little bit of something every day is a great way to move your hustle on and to try and get it to where you want it to be. If you don't do that, you run the risk of just wanting to do it and feeling frustrated that you can't finish. Anyway, I'm going to put a resource together about what I think are the critical points about making a side hustle work. But to finish up with, I do hope I haven't given you an earworm. If it's any consolation to you, I can't get the do the hustle out of my head either. So welcome to my world, and you're welcome. Take care.